All right, today we're going to talk about a superpower you actually already have, your mind. We're going to explore how mastering your inner world can, no joke, dramatically improve your life. And I'll share some really practical ways you can start doing that. So, let's dive right in. So, let me ask you this. Ever feel completely trapped by your own thoughts? You know that feeling, right? Stuck in this loop of worry or frustration or self-criticism where your own mind feels less like a friend and more like, well, an enemy? It's a totally universal human experience. But here's the good news. It is not a life sentence. Understanding the mechanics of how we think is really the first step to breaking free.
So how does this trap even work? Well, it all comes down to something called the thought-emotion feedback loop. Think about it. When you're feeling anxious, what does your mind do? It starts cooking up all these threatening thoughts. Or if you're feeling sad, it just dwells on loss. And those thoughts, they just amplify the original feeling, which then fuels even more negative thoughts. It's this self-reinforcing cycle that could just spiral out of control really, really easily.
All right, Section 1, your core belief, fixed or growth. The foundation for change, and this is key, starts with what you believe about yourself. Because you see, to break that cycle, we have to dig deeper than just the thoughts themselves. We've got to look at the very foundation they're built on, our core beliefs about our own ability to change and grow. And this brings us to a really powerful concept, mindset.
The idea of mindset was pioneered by psychologist Carol Dweck. And honestly, it's so simple, but so profound. A mindset is just your core assumption, your gut belief about whether your personal attributes, things like intelligence or talent, can be changed. Are they set in stone, or can they grow? This one single belief, it can change everything.
Okay, so let's break this down. On one side, you have the fixed mindset. This is the belief that your abilities are just innate, fixed traits. You've got what you've got. The main goal here, look smart at all costs. You absolutely dread failure because you see it as a direct statement on who you are. But then, you have the growth mindset. This is the belief that your abilities can be developed through effort and persistence. The goal here isn't to look smart, it's to learn and grow continuously. Failure isn't a threat, it's an opportunity, a stepping stone. And you can see how adopting this growth mindset is really the crucial first step to taking control of your thoughts.
Okay, next up, the skill of reframing. This is all about learning to challenge and change your automatic thoughts. So now that we've hopefully embraced this idea that change is possible, what's next? Well, let's get into the practical side of things. Let's talk about the actual skill of reframing. This is the how-to for wrestling with those automatic thoughts that just pop into your head.
Now, the formal name for this is cognitive restructuring, or you might hear it called cognitive reappraisal. It's a really important technique from psychotherapies like cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT. And all it is really is a process of learning to identify and then dispute those irrational or, just unhelpful thoughts, what they call cognitive distortions. It's a tool that helps you break that negative feedback loop we talked about. And you know what's wild? This is not some brand new idea. It's ancient wisdom. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He understood this thousands of years ago. True strength isn't about controlling the world around you. It's about your power to interpret it. It's about the power over your own mind. Modern psychology just gives us a really structured way to apply this timeless insight.
So how do you actually do it? It boils down to a pretty simple 4-step process. First, identify. You got to recognize that automatic negative thought as soon as it pops up. Second, challenge it. Ask yourself, is this really true? Am I jumping to conclusions here? Is there another way to see this? Third, dispute it. Question its validity like you're a detective looking for evidence. And finally, number 4, replace it. Develop a more rational, a more balanced rebuttal.
Okay, theory is great and all, but let's make this feel real. Let's see it in action. Imagine a super common, everyday stressor. You're on your way to a party, you take a wrong turn, and bam! Now you're running late. Let's see how this plays out. So your immediate automatic thought might be something like this. This road construction is terrible. The city needs to get it together to find a different way of detouring traffic. Now, this thought is totally rooted in blame and frustration, right? And where does that lead? It leads to you feeling angry, exasperated, maybe even ruining your mood before you even get to the party. This is a perfect example of that thought-emotion loop kicking into high gear. But here's the key. You don't have to completely erase that first thought. The goal is to let more effective, more helpful thoughts coexist with it. Things like, you know what, life happens. Or people probably won't care that much that I'm late. Or even, I'm usually on time. This is just a fluke.
Maybe even, I might as well enjoy the scenery while I'm driving around. See, these aren't just fluffy positive thinking. They're realistic, alternative ways of seeing the situation that can dial down the emotional intensity and help you stay calm.
All right, our next section, simple activities for flourishing. This is about putting new thought patterns into daily practice. So we've got the mindset, we've got the skill, but just like any skill, it needs practice, right? You got to work that muscle. So let's look at how we can build this into our daily habits. Here are some simple, evidence-based activities to make this kind of thinking feel like second nature.
First up, let's talk about gratitude. This is all about an orientation to the good in your past. A really simple and powerful way to practice this is to just write down 3 to 5 things you're grateful for each day, or maybe once a week. And the research on this is pretty amazing. Studies show it can boost happiness, help you sleep better, and even reduce physical aches and pains.
Next, we have savoring. Now, if gratitude is about the past, savoring is all about appreciating the good in the present. It just means fully immersing yourself in a positive experience as it's happening. There was one study that found that just taking the time to notice positive things during a daily walk significantly boosted people's happiness. It's that simple.
And there are so many more of these well-being boosters. Research shows that doing acts of kindness can give you a big boost. For example, trying to do 5 acts of kindness all in one day, once a week. Or you could try the best possible self-exercise. Just take some time to imagine and write about your ideal future. This has been shown to really increase optimism. The key with all of these is to find practices that actually train your brain to start seeing the good.
Okay, let's tie it all together. From thought to action. We've gone on a bit of a journey here, right? From understanding our core beliefs to learning these practical skills for managing our thoughts, and finally, to figuring out how to embed these changes through daily practice.
It really comes down to this simple but incredibly powerful formula. Mindset, which leads to skill, which is strengthened by practice. You start with a growth mindset, that core belief that you can change. Then you learn the skill of cognitive restructuring to actually manage your thoughts. And finally, you reinforce all of it with daily practice through things like gratitude and savoring.
And it feels right to end pretty much where we started, with the wisdom of the Stoics. This quote from Marcus Aurelius just captures our whole theme perfectly. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. It's not about what happens to you, it's about the quality of your thoughts in response to what happens. That right there is where your true power lies.
So now, it's time to make this real for you. I want you to think about this. What's one thought you can choose to reframe today? Just one. What's one automatic, unhelpful thought that's been bugging you? How can you look at it differently, right now, today? Because the path to changing your inner world, it all starts with a single conscious choice.